Recently, I came across a term in a novel I was reading that I thought related well to my recovery and the program of recovery in which I participate. That term is kintsugi, and it provides a whole new understanding of what it means to be broken and repaired. I first mentioned kintsugi in a meeting on Monday, November 25th, and others asked me about it in every meeting I attended for the next 10 days or so. Clearly, the concept resonates with recovering alcoholics. So let's discuss it a bit. Oh, and I'll share the name of the novel and the passage I'm referring to later in the video. Let's take two other steps before that. First, let's define kintsugi. Second, let's relate that to recovery. Kintsugi is a Japanese method of repairing broken pottery. The pieces are put back together with lacquer, and the lacquer is sprinkled with gold or silver powder. The result draws attention to the repair, and in Japanese culture, the repaired item is more valuable than the original. This is contrary to the American method of fixing things, where the resulting repair is to be invisible. I never developed a skill for repairing pottery, but I did learn furniture repair in my early days in the retail furniture business. Some repair was structural, such as gluing legs back on, but a lot of it was cosmetic, fixing scratches and nicks in floor samples of what we called case goods, things like dressers and china cabinets. The process involved a knife with a thin blade that also acted as a spatula. You heated the blade over a flame of an alcohol lamp. The filler material was not putty like you see in big box stores, but a hard stick maybe 3/8 or ½ inch square in cross section and maybe 6 inches long, which came in a range of colors to match various woods and which was hard as ceramic. That heated blade would melt through and gather some material, which you quickly applied to the blemish. The filler would cool and harden. You had one shot at it. There was no follow-up sanding or staining. The repair was permanent and, if done well, indistinguishable from the original finish. Again, the parallel to recovery is that we may wish to conceal our repairs, our healing, to render them unnoticeable. That's an unrealistic goal. We couldn't hide our drinking, neither can we hide our recovery. And it's not just those who know us well who detect changes that come with our healing. Even persons we meet for the first time will often notice and sometimes make comment on our demeanor. As we are promised, our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. We will comprehend the word serenity, and we will know peace. Our repair will be obvious, so why not call attention to that beautiful, seemingly miraculous aspect of ourselves? And that's what kintsugi does. It calls attention to the repair in ceramics. It is beautiful and adds character that the original piece did not possess. How does this relate to recovery? There is some feeling in our program that we are to be anonymous at all times, everywhere, and that is its own discussion. But I embrace the kintsugi approach. I don't broadcast the fact that I'm a recovering alcoholic, but I don't hide it, and in fact, I often find ways to work it into conversations. My recovery informs every part of my thinking. We naturally relate bits from our personal context into discussions, and recovery is a cornerstone of my context. I often mention bicycles and journalism, and other things that are integral to my life experience. It's my observation that we're all broken in some ways, and that each of us has one dominant flaw that prevents us from reaching our potential, restricts our quality of life, and often makes us unpleasant to be around. My kintsugi approach to recovery is my way of saying that I have identified my main flaw and am working on it, and that I'm a more valuable person because of it. That dusting of gold over where my parts were put back together in sobriety is a highlight of who I am. The kintsugi analogy does break down on one point, however. Kintsugi is a finite process. Once the gold or silver is captured and the lacquer hardens, the repair is finished. My repair should last the rest of my life, with improvements coming continually until my last breath. The book in which I found the term is I Think We've Been Here Before by Susie Krauss. It's a character study of several persons as they await the inevitable end of the world, precipitated by a cosmic event. The character Mrs. Schmidt has decided to paint a mural in her last days. She'd been an artist earlier in life and was drawn to it again now. She used to do this with her ex-boyfriend. They'd take sketchbooks to the Frenchman River Valley and sit at the top of the hill, mapping out the strange topography, the massive indent in an otherwise perfectly flat landscape. They'd draw each other, they'd draw the birds, the river running through the middle of the valley like the gold seam on a kintsugi bowl. The book is published by Lake Union Publishing, which is an imprint of Amazon Publishing, which is a division of Amazon. It's a fun book with enjoyable writing, and I recommend it. And as much as I dislike what Amazon has become, I must admit that some of the best reading I've found in recent months has been from one of their 13 publishing divisions' imprints. So, in summary, my flaws stand out. They are apparent to most others. They are certainly apparent to me. With diligence, I eventually acquired the skill to hide the damage to wood on furniture with a hot knife and a filler. I never acquired the skill to hide my personal flaws. So, rather than try, I call attention to my main flaw by calling attention to my repair technique. To repeat, unlike a kintsugi bowl, my repair is not yet complete. It is an ongoing process that will last the rest of my life. But like kintsugi, the effort to repair is itself a beautiful thing. I'm Rich Reese, and I'll see you out there